everybody? I'm Noah from PhoneDog.com. That's me right there. This is the Droid Incredible. It's incredible! The Droid Incredible from HTC and Verizon. I'm getting punchy doing these videos. This phone, honestly, it's so good and it's gotten so much interest, we thought, let's do more videos. So, you know, unboxing, review, all that stuff. But also, we're going to do multi-part videos on the hardware, the software, features, multimedia, messaging, HTC Sends, all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned for all the incredible you can take on PhoneDog.com. Also, thanks to our friends at Best Buy Mobile. Thanks to them, we've got 2 of these to give away to you on the OnePod Bandit. You can spin and win on PhoneDog.com and our Facebook page. And Best Buy Mobile, they got a thing called Walkout Working. You buy a phone there. If you want, they'll help you set it up so that you can walk out working. That's why they call it that. Enough of the promos, enough of the introduction, blah, blah, blah. Let's get to it. HTC Droid Incredible. All right, it's the Droid Incredible from HTC for Verizon. In this video, we're going to focus on the hardware. Got a multi-part series of videos going on this device because of the high interest in it. We'll start out with a look at it, you know, physically, the external portions of the hardware, what I'm trying to say. How is it, the form factor? What's it like in your hand? How big is it? All that stuff. It's nice. It's very, you know, for a phone of its size, 3.7-inch display, it's lightweight, it's sleek. It does feel a little bit plasticky, not cheap in any way, but it doesn't have quite the solidness of, you know, the solid feeling of something like the HTC Legend or even the original Hero or the Nexus 1. The Nexus 1 would actually be the best comparison. It doesn't quite have that luxurious solid feel, but the trade-off is that it actually feels very lightweight and in the pocket, you know, in your pocket, you hardly notice it, and it's great for one-handed use as well because it's long but, you know, relatively narrow. The back has this kind of funky, you know, textured, topographical, they may have called it, I heard the word topographical, battery cover, a little bit different look than your standard back panel on a phone. You know, whether or not you like it, I'll leave it up to you. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's not the kind of thing that's going to stop me from buying or using the phone. You know, it's not the design that I prefer, but whatever, it is what it is, it's fine. The phone is, it weighs about 130 grams, so it's actually about, or a little less than 130, around 130 grams. It's actually about 20% lighter than something like the Evo 4G, which in a way is its closest competitor, you know, because these are the new flagship Android phones. They both have 1 gigahertz Qualcomm Snapdragon processors. They're very fast. Capacitive touchscreens, HTC Sense, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, you're looking at the flagship device for Verizon on Android. I think, you know, it outperforms Droid, although it doesn't have the hard keyboard that Droid has. And certainly, you know, you would look at it as iPhones, at Verizon's current, you know, head-on iPhone competitor. But anyway, just looking at it for what it is itself, it's 11.9 millimeters thick. Nice, you know, nice and thin. Like I said, 3.7-inch display on front. It's capacitive touch, AMOLED technology. It's very bright, although it does suffer in direct sunlight a little bit. WVGA resolution, 800 by 480. So it's the same resolution as Evo 4G. It's just physically a little bit smaller, but 3.7 inches is still larger than the screen on an iPhone 3GS. On the bottom, you've got 4 touch-sensitive controls. You've also got the optical trackpad, or optical trackball, which really does function like a trackball. You just, you know, you kind of scroll your thumb over it, and then you can click if you want to select something. I think it works quite well. It's not, you know, it's not necessarily something that you have to have, but it's a nice complement to the touchscreen, especially if you're scrolling through lists of email or looking at a web page that has small HTML hot links, that kind of thing. It's just, you know, a nice little thing to have. And you know, if you just use it like it doesn't click, it's optical, it just clicks in the middle of select. So if you just use it like a trackball, it works just fine. Your speaker grill on the front there. On the left spine, you've got your rocker switch and then your micro USB port. The port looks like it's shaped a little funny, but it actually is just, you can use a standard micro USB cable with it. On the right spine, you've got nothing. On the top, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and then your switch for screen lock and power. On the bottom, microphone port, lanyard port. On the back, 8 megapixel camera with dual LED flash. It also does video capture up to VGA resolution, 640 by 480. You pry the battery cover off here on the bottom. There's just a little slit, and it just kind of pries off. The battery cover is actually relatively thin, but you know, it's that topographical thing, like I said, and it works fine. It's the red finish. The new HTC devices with the red finish, a little bit of flair to them. Kind of reminds me of a Ferrari a little bit. Like I've never been in a Ferrari. Anyway, there's your battery. And so it's a 1300 milliamp hour battery, lithium ion. And then here's your micro SD card slot. So that is actually accessible with the battery in, unlike on the Evo 4G, where you have to take the battery out to get to the card. On the Incredible, you can hot swap with the battery in. The SD card just slides in and out of that little port. Fire it back up. The device ships with, we're not getting into the software here, we're just doing hardware, but the device does ship with Android 2.1 with HTC Sense. And so your update for Android 2.2 is going to come a little bit later than it would on a stock Android device. HTC has said sometime in 2010, I believe, they plan to get 2.2 updates out. But again, you're getting 2.1 here on the phone with HTC Sense. Battery life has been pretty good, pretty standard for a high-end smartphone. For me, it's just, can I get through a day on a charge? And I can. Haven't had any problems with the phone running out before the end of the day. Again, it's got Verizon's CDMA phone with Verizon's FDU data, and then it also does Wi-Fi. There's no GSM SIM card slot in here. It's not a global phone. The capacitive touchscreen is great. It's smooth, it's responsive, works very well, backed by the Snapdragon processor. Everything is very speedy. I'll show you real quick, not going to get too far into the software here, but we'll go into the browser here so you can see the screen. You've got haptic feedback if you want to have it on. So I will go to PhoneDog and we'll load up. You see I've got my HTC Peep notifications going on up top. I'm connected to Wi-Fi right now. Signal strength has been fine. Call quality has been good. It's just, where I film, I happen to be. It's ironic that I cover cell phones for a living, but my office gets kind of moderate cell phone reception at best on all networks. So that's just a function of where I am. But I've been testing the phone in the San Francisco Bay Area, in San Francisco and in the East Bay, and generally have had very good results with voice calls as well as data. Let's skip that ad there. So you can see multi-touch support in the web browser, photo gallery, all that stuff works just fine. Built-in accelerometer, responds quickly even while the page is loading and rendering. All in all, performance has just been great on this device. So we'll let the page load up here, the PhoneDog homepage. I mentioned Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to, PhoneDog_Noah. The rest of the PhoneDog crew also on there. Aaron and John and Adriana. And then also some of our other writers. You know what? We'll make it a scavenger hunt. You go onto the PhoneDog site. You can click on their bios. You can find their Twitter handles. Or just follow me on Twitter and ask me. And soon enough, you'll be hooked up with the whole PhoneDog crew if you want. So here's the PhoneDog homepage. And pinch to zoom works just great. You can also double tap to zoom in and out. And accelerometer like we showed you. Terrific. There is also, well, no, we're not going to get into the I was going to say there is flash support, some limited flash support, but we're not getting into that now. This is not a software video, it's a hardware video. The screen, you can see, like I said, it looks fantastic. It does suffer a little bit in direct sunlight, but that's just how AMOLED displays are. But if you're in good lighting conditions, it's great. It's great for watching videos as well. The camera, 8 megapixel dual LED flash, with video capture. Video capture goes up to WVGA 800 by 480 resolution. So you're not going to get full HD, but you can do widescreen. And we'll show you in the photo browser here some of the stock photos that came with it. We'll go in on this one. And, again, very responsive. Pinch to zoom works very well. The camera in general performs quite well for a cell phone camera. I'm still not of the mind that you're going to replace a digital camera with a cell phone camera, but the HTCs recently are getting as close as you're going to get. The dual LED flash is a little better than your average cell phone flash, but still slightly limited range. Video capture works well on the device. I'll take some videos and upload them to YouTube so you can judge for yourself, and also doing that with some of the other phones, the Evo as well, so you can compare 800 by 480 versus the HD on the Evo, the videos get compressed and they're optimized, for small file size. So when you transfer them to a computer, put them into a video editor, that kind of thing, you notice the quality isn't quite as good as it would be with a standalone camcorder, but still definitely pretty good. But all in all, hardware overall, I think they really nailed it. I mean, again, I told you that I'm not crazy about the back panel, but that's a subjective thing, and like I said, it's not at all a deal breaker. But otherwise, I mean, this really hits a sweet spot between, a high-end device with a large screen and still being very lightweight and pocketable. And to date, they've had shortages getting the AMOLED panels, and so they haven't been able to keep up with customer demand. And the phone's been back ordered. They should be arriving in Verizon stores in June. I think mid-June sometime is what they said. But there's no doubt that there's going to be high demand for this phone because it performs like a champ. I mean, the hardware is just performance-wise and pocketability, and it's one-handed, but it's still a big screen for browsing the web and watching videos and everything. It really just works great. It's just a nice device hardware-wise and software-wise as well, and we'll get into that in the other videos. I'll show you real quick. Go to the YouTube app, and here's that 13-year-old Lady Gaga video that everybody's watching and talking about. There's me in the reflection. What's up, everybody? We'll load the video up. And, I don't know how well that's translating over, in my video, and obviously the quality of this video isn't, broadcast quality super spectacular, but it looks very good on the phone. Playback is smooth. What can I say? Comparing it to the Evo, just because it is, HTC's other current Snapdragon-powered phone, carrier-branded phone, and phone with Sense, because Nexus 1 also Snapdragon-powered. It's a slightly smaller screen, and you don't get the HDMI video out, and you don't get the HD video capture. So that is what it is. And then with the Nexus 1, Nexus 1 not coming to Verizon now anyway, slightly different, hardware. Like I said, it's a little bit heavier, maybe more luxurious feeling than the Incredible, but the Incredible by no means cheap. I feel like I'm starting to talk in circles now, trying to find more and more ways to say that the hardware is terrific. And I think that it's going to be a big seller, and with good reason, definitely. So we'll do more. We'll do some videos on the functionality, the software, multimedia messaging features, HTC Sense, integration with cloud-based services. You've got the Google Speech here. Search for Rashid Wallet. Oh, see, I didn't get it in time. I keep doing that. Search for Phoenix Suns beat Los Angeles Lakers. That's kind of a long one. Let's see what it does. There you go. Oh, B, right? Okay, that's fair enough because I said beat, not B. But still, you get the results. You've got the text-to-speech, you've got the Google Nav, all kinds of stuff. GPS performance has been good. Bluetooth works well. USB obviously works well. What can I say? It's a nice device, nice hardware, and as you'll see in the other videos, nice software also. So there you go. It's a quick look at the HTC Droid Incredible for Verizon, the hardware anyway. We'll have much, much more on this phone, like I said, already on PhoneDog.com, full written reviews from me and Aaron, and videos. We'll do more videos, and there's more coverage over on DroidDog.com with John Walton as well. So get your Incredible on if you're so inclined. Till next time, my name is Noah. Thank you for watching. We will see you later. Bye-bye.